Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is the first proper official video I've done. As you may have seen, I did an intro video, which is very short. This is more longer form, and it's quite a reflective one, this one, because I have been 29 now for about 6 months. So my months left being a 20-something are finally coming to an end as I approach 30, which some people are usually a little bit worried about. But I'm going into it with quite a lot of hope. I'm quite optimistic about it. But I thought I'd take the opportunity to talk about my experience in my 20s, because, it's quite a long decade, as all decades are, standard 10 years. Some of these lessons I've learned won't necessarily resonate with everyone, but I thought I'd share my personal experiences as someone who's in their early 20s, mid-20s, or even my age even, can maybe take some inspiration from what I've learned. And I'm also open to any other suggestions and comments if this video reaches anyone, because at this point I don't know how the YouTube algorithm works. I don't know how to approach getting my content out there, but if anyone comes across this and it resonates well with them, feel free to give it a like and a share. So I had a lot of different ideas for lessons I've learned in my 20s, but I've narrowed them down to 4 key ones, just to keep the video contained in a way, because I could talk for, I guess, hours, whereas obviously I don't want to bore you all to death. I've come up with 4 key lessons I've learned in my 20s. Let's get into it. The first one, I guess, is used a lot in terms of when people grow older, they start to realise that you should never judge yourself against how others are doing. I feel like this is very pertinent to me, as when I was in my early 20s, I used to often judge myself against others, and I'm still guilty of it to this day. But you start to realise everyone's going at their own pace. So in my case, when I graduated university, I didn't do the normal route of going straight into a career and then going up the career ladder. I decided to teach English abroad, and I did that for about 4 years because I loved where I was living in Shenzhen, China, which is a great city. It's fast developing. It's the tech capital of China. So it was great to immerse myself into that culture. But when I came back to the UK, I had this real sense of being left behind in a way. There's a lot of my friends and people I know had, flourished in their careers, which I was very happy for them about. But for me personally, it took me a long while to find a job. And at that point, I was about 26, 27. And I kind of was a bit hard on myself, whereas I kind of didn't reflect on the experiences I'd already accumulated and based off my current status, which, we all go through lulls in life. But I was pretty hard on myself in those years of unemployment, and even getting into my current job, it was a good job to get into, but I don't know if it's a job I see myself in longer term. But yeah, a key lesson I would tell myself, a 20-year-old self, 18 or 19-year-old self, is don't stress too much and go at your own pace. The next lesson that I've taken away from my 20s, and it's quite a painful one, I guess, is that people come and people go, and it's okay. You can build friendships, relationships, and they break down, and you both go your separate ways, and ultimately it's probably for the best. I just feel that is such an important lesson that everyone learns. I think especially in terms of relationships, I've been in a few breakups where they've instigated the breakup, and I've also been in other breakups where I've instigated it. Both are horrible and leave you feeling really hurt, whichever side of the breakup you're on. It's always for the best. And I just think, it's good to part ways if it's not working. And it's the same with friendships as well. If it's not for the best, then you'll slowly drift. But I take solace in the fact that everyone experiences this sort of thing. And when people do part, it's kind of, you wish them the best, but life just goes on. So moving on from a little bit of a depressing lesson to more of an optimistic one, is that consistency compounds. And without meaning to seem like a life coach, I have watched a lot of those sorts of YouTube videos. And actually I find that if you put in the effort, over time, you'll see results. So for instance, I started learning Chinese when I was in China, a very hard language to learn. And when I came back to the UK, I continued learning the language, and I put in a lot of effort whilst I was unemployed, and I started seeing good results. But even now, when I'm working a 9 to 5, even doing 10 to 20 minutes in the evening does compound over time. And I'm around about HSK5 now, which might not mean much to many people, but it's an upper intermediate Chinese. And I'm very proud of the fact I've managed to get there through hard work. And even, stuff like, let's say, if you want to if you have that business idea or that social media platform you want to pursue, then just doing like small things every evening does build up over time. I've actually started my own business idea. Hear me out. It's a dating platform, as if we don't have enough already. But it's something I do every 10 to 20 minutes an evening. And already it's coming together quite nicely. I'm seeing tangible results. It's not launched yet at all, so don't try and look it up or anything. There is a name I've got for it, but it's a little, it's still on the down low. So it's not something I'm going to publicly announce yet. But yeah, that's the thing. I just think it's really important that if you have an interest, or there's that language you wanted to learn, or even a musical instrument you wanted to play, just take it up in your 20s, start doing it. Even if you don't do it for long periods in the evening, just small amounts compound, and then, sky's your limit really. So that's a bit more of a positive one. I am yapping, and that is the purpose of my channel. So if you've got this far, then great. If anyone's watched this, if not, it's more I guess therapy for me, because I'm getting everything off my chest, and I'm using this as a platform where I can express myself, and maybe if there's people that find it interesting, perfect. But yeah, that's my third lesson from my 20s that I've learned. So really, the fourth lesson I've learned in my 20s is it's probably the best time to take risks. Not anything obviously stupid, but whether there's a business idea you wanted to, investigate and pursue, or a YouTube channel that, for example, myself trying to start that, a social media platform you wanted to do. I just think it's a great time to you're obviously developing your own career, or you're in between careers, or you're starting a career, and maybe you're living at home with your parents, or you've moved out and you're flat sharing. But I just think it's a great time to slowly build up, not a portfolio as such, but just maybe focusing on something that is putting you slightly out of your comfort zone and just doing it. I felt that I started a Chinese, a Xiaohongshu account, where I talked about my experiences in China, and actually I kind of was a bit more comfortable doing that because I didn't have any friends on Xiaohongshu, and I was kind of building an audience of people I didn't know, but even so, I still felt a bit out of my comfort zone, and I was very glad I did that. But I do feel, if I'm being very reflective of my time in my 20s, I didn't take enough risk. There are times that I regret, the person who maybe showed interest in me where I only realise now, and I didn't pursue anything at the time. or maybe it was that idea I had that, you know, I never pursued because I was scared to, or fear of embarrassment even. Because even doing this, I'm a little bit worried, you know, someone I know is going to see this and, you know, take the piss, which, you know, I can laugh at myself. But at the same time, it's just putting yourself out of the comfort zone. And I feel your 20s are a perfect time to do that. So they are the 4 key lessons I've learned in my 20s. I had to, obviously, instead of making it a long video, I had to narrow it down. And, you know, some people would say I'm waffling, but it's something I'd like to, if you resonate with it, then great. Obviously, everyone's got different experiences within that decade. But these are the things I would tell my 20-year-old self upon reflection. But yeah, just to conclude this video, I actually spoke with someone who is in their 40s a while back, and I asked them a question, and it was, if you had to choose a year in your life so far that you enjoyed the most, which age would it be? And well, their response, I really liked their response, because they said that life gets better the older you get, because it comes all this added experience, and knowledge, wealth of knowledge, and stuff like that, and you become more confident in yourself. Because I feel the main issue in your 20s is you're thrown into this adult world where you don't really know. You have to learn to do things, or like navigate life kind of yourself, which is a great way to build up confidence, but that confidence builds up over time, and the older you get, the more confident you become, the more self-assured, because I think I lack self-assurance a lot, but from what he was saying was every year gets better in terms of your knowledge, and yeah, and I just think that's such an optimistic outlook and such an important lesson to share. So I hold a lot of optimism going forward. 20s have been great. You know, there's been great parts and there's been pretty horrible parts. But overall, I can look back with fond memories. So yeah, that's the end of my video. I don't know how many more of these I'll do, because I feel like maybe it needs more structure. You know, I appreciate any feedback, or your thoughts about 20s and your 20s in general. Would be great. But that's the end of the video. I'm looking to do some more videos on the channel, so feel free to follow, and I will see you all in the next one.